If you haven't already, press the subscribe button on American New Networks, and also download American New from your app store, the television network, the Roku, your Fire Stick, any Apple apparatus, iPhone, Apple TV, Galaxy, all that, Google Play, all that, and it's free.
What's good, Dan?
What's happening?
So, you want to talk about what happened with the auction, the Roc-A-Fella auction?
Yeah. So the auction happened yesterday, and basically no one showed up. Only Jay's lawyers, the state, and the crew that was initially suing me. I didn't go. It was my son's birthday, and like I said, to be honest, I just wanted this thing to be done. Um, I think people really don't understand that from that third of reasonable doubt for the last like over 10, 15 years, I wasn't receiving any royalties, you know. And the reason why was because, I had found some money that they didn't tell me about. And, I took it because I knew that I would never get paid. There was no intention of me ever getting paid. And I don't feel like playing over that asset. What I wanted to do was put everything pause in my rear view and do everything new. But, at some point when people are just taking from you boldly, when you internalize that, it does at some point bother you. And in my brain, I'm like, yo, I just want to get rid of this. I just want to move on. I don't want to have any reasons to have to bring anyone up that's not in my life every day that was in my past. But, I don't know. I don't know if you understand how it feels to know that, and to be honest, when I look at the books, I was only supposed to be getting about 120,000 a year. But that's like 8,000 a month, 10,000 a month. I wasn't seeing that at all. And then to have to go to court with somebody for it means you have to spend money on lawyers to go get shortbread. And then, of course, because of people doing stupid narratives and, people that live vicariously through other people, pause, I would say, I don't even want to say it, just girls that are men that act like girls that talk about or root for another man as if either way I'm not even kidding to look like. But it's a fight that nobody feels like dealing with when you're building new things. Like fighting, you have to focus, or else you're going to lose. And when you're doing 20 different things and paying for 20 different things, you don't really feel like focusing on your past all day, you know? And I don't want people to think my career is coming out here and doing this podcast and, I have to deal with everything and the misconceptions and people trying to fuck with my reputation. And have to, because I don't have a team of people or lawyers to speak for me all day or bots to put a fake narrative out there. And I don't call TMZ and Charlemagne the God and all that to tell them the narrative. I don't do any of those things. I just come outside when I got to protect my word. And people be lying. And it just, again, bugs me out. Why everyone on that side wants to paint this narrative that I'm doing so much struggling when I'm just building. Yeah, I'm struggling because I'm fighting for my independent freedom. I'm paying for it. I'm paying not to have to hang out with a certain crowd. Honestly, I would rather be broke than have to hang out with those people. I'd rather pay for it. I'd rather use all my money, every dollar I make, so that I could spend all my time with my family. But anyway, no one showed up. And the state made a bid for it of $1 million. And that's really what it was worth. So if I'm making 120,000 a year, and let's say at a 10 times multiple, that's what usually things are bought for, it'd be worth like 1.2. everyone, I think, not everyone, what this really taught me was that in the world, homie isn't as big as he portrayed. I thought more people would be interested in buying it because of the art value of it. And that's the only thing I was selling. Because of how everyone portrays they love this dude, if they really loved him like that, I thought some collector, like the Wu-Tang thing, like Wu-Tang is loved. People really value them a certain way. When people buy a piece of like a piece of vinyl that no one can have for $25 million, that's love. There was no love. I thought people would at least show up. No one even showed up. So I'm like, wow. They're really portraying themselves to be a lot bigger paws than they are. Because no one showed up. It didn't even get market value. Now, that could be because of, all that bullshit that they put in the newspaper. But they didn't even buy it. Now, he supposed to have it. The floor was $3 million. So why didn't he buy it? If he, I just don't understand the play. They now have the state, for now, I guess, as a partner. The people that originally were suing me for defamation, the people that, in my mind, pretended that they directed a movie that I directed and, did some cute shit and did a trial in New York, even though it all happened in LA, so I couldn't fly all the witnesses down. And also knowing at the time I had 2 warrants. And, I guess allegedly, I just feel like they got a crew of people together and lied. But those people that brought this whole auction in the first place, as of right now, they don't make a fucking dollar. Then why did they do it? They did all of this not to make a dollar? And this shit has been going on for like 10 years. So at some point, it has to become obsession to chase one man around for 10 years for under $1 million. I mean, I'm just thinking it, like, why are people so obsessed? Why are people, like, it's been 20 years and the same group of people have been trying to put the same narrative out and been so scared that I get some real money on my own. Like, why is that so scary to everybody? If I get my own money my way and I'm not, honestly, I don't want none of y'all block. I don't want to be around y'all. This is what I'm paying for, not to have to be around y'all. This is my choice. I just don't get mad. It just feels like everyone's mad because I don't want to pause play with them. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I don't want to be around none of that weirdo shit. I don't want to be around I don't want to be up under somebody my whole life. I'm a man. A man should never want to be up under another man their whole life. You gotta get sick of seeing a nigga or hearing a nigga and all that shit. Like, I know what it's like to be around an artist. Artists don't show up on time. Artists are very frustrating. You have to move based on how they feel. And as a man, I can't do that with how's he feel today? Can we talk to him today? Was he gonna show up today? Oh, don't ask him that. Oh, ask him at this time. I can't do that. And that's what was happening at Roc-A-Fella. Like, I'm not throwing rose petals when another man walks. And that's what I see when I see like a Steve Stout or all these other dudes always defending this person all the time or trying to fuck with me. Y'all throwing rose petals. Y'all men. Men don't do that. I can't fight like that. And it's crazy because, and again, this is the last time. I'm not going through this shit no more. I'm giving y'all the explanation. The auction is over and it's everything new. And I know everyone, or the bots, or the stupid narrative that you always talking about, nigga, this was my auction. This is my life. They're the problem right now, so I'm speaking on it. But when I did run into Jay, when my daughter was 15 and wanted to go to his concert in LA, I went, and he had just done that record, and he was like, Dame made me, and Cam made me, and I was like, yo, what was all that about? Dame made me. He said, yo, I was fronting on you. And I said, oh, we play like that? We could do that? He said, yeah. I was like, bet. called Cam. I was like, yo, we could play like that. Pause. Like, he down. So like when that man says my name in records and them shits play all day, but I'm not a rapper. So the way that I could at least, make sure that the narrative is correct, I got to speak on it. But no one says anything when people put my name in their records. But I never talked about that conversation we had. It's not even nothing that's supposed to bother. I was like, bet, because I like the snap. But fucking with my money and shit, I just don't get that part. Everyone is so scared that I'm gonna get a certain kind of bread without them. Why does that scare people so much? But anyway, at the end of the day, I don't really understand it. My child support, I guess, will get paid. And in my mind, I wasn't getting any of that bread anyway. If I could sell it, I thought people really loved Homeboy Pause way more than they did. People did not show up. Drake did put a bid in for $6 million, but then he disappeared. And so I'm like, damn, pause. I don't know what happened. But other than that, everybody else was, no serious people were like, no one wanted that shit. Period. And when you go and look at the numbers, like the people that buy and acquire people's catalog went to look and they were like, first of all, we can't get no numbers, but the numbers that I'm hearing, it's not worth more than $1 million. I'm like, I know. What can you do? So everyone made a big deal over this asset, and it's like, bro, I just want to get rid of it. Any way I can. They stopped me from selling this shit. I just want to move on. But, either way, I don't know if this is the rest to bed. I don't know what the fuck. I don't even really understand. It didn't make sense to me. So somebody can do some research. I'm sure they'll put some stupid narrative on it. But Jay didn't even make a bid. He didn't even want his own shit. He didn't think it was worth $3 million. He himself did not want to bid $3 million on that shit because that was the floor. A billionaire, suppose. I'm not. And again, this thing of counting another man's money. The reason why I'm not trying to knock a man, it's just not for me to ever say what's in another man's pocket. Men don't do that. Again, I'm not sure exactly what that means. The state bought it for $1 million. I don't know why. I know the people that initially pushed the whole auction they don't get $1, zero. I know my child support will get paid. So I don't know. Again, to me, I wasn't making no money from it. They weren't ever gonna cut me any checks for it unless we went to court. And it was just time to get rid of it, so I didn't have to be mad about it no more. And if I could get it to pay for my kids' colleges and my child support, that's better than a pizza blank. And I don't think it should be like that. But, sometimes when you want to just go to like I've left blocks before. Like me and my homeboys have a block and then we don't get along and keep the block. I can get another block clicking. I can always get new work to click. That's just how I see things. I'd rather start over than argue with people that I think are my friends or have to deal with people that just make me feel bad or I just don't like the energy. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. But I don't really want to talk about, unless I have to, I don't want to be talking about that no more. Everything new. I'm really into the television network. I'm into Blue Rock, the music. I got projects coming out with Freeway. I'm into CEO, the clothes. I'm loving the fact that while you're watching right now, you could press a button and everything you see, you could buy. So you could buy the pause button, the CEO. You could buy the glasses. I'm gonna put this shirt up, a tester. If y'all want this, pre-order this. And also our books. So while you're watching right now, this is the book, kids' book, and the shirt that go with it. Verticals. You know what I'm saying? And it's adult shirts as well. Rocky wanted to say that. You want to say something, Ron? Okay. So it's adult shirts. Dream big. I love space. To the book. That's what goes to see, the buttons, the glasses, the shirt. And, that's what I'll be doing more of, is telling you more about the new stuff. It's more important to me. Like if you could look at what I'm doing now in the present, what it's going to look like in the future, Think about 10 years from now. Be a part of it. And again, if you are rooting for me, just support it. That's all. Like, for some reason, again, just worrying about a man's pockets is not the wave. So, I'm done with Roc-A-Fella. The auction's over. It's everything, period.
All right, damn. So, Fenty still trolling. What do you have to say about what's going on?
Um, you know, for me, the whole thing with 50 was drop your network. You know, you made a comment about, it wasn't jokes, you said he was broke. So I was like, all right, if I'm broke, again, I don't know why another man would ever be worried about another man's pockets. It's not the most masculine thing in the world. But, you know, then drop your television network. And he never did. So I'm damn near at 100,000 downloads later. And, you know, now Honor Up is now on BET. And I just feel like, you know, he must be, you know, because I was thinking it through. I'm like, he must be, because to me, 50's whole business model is like trolling people. So with rap, it always started with a battle, you know, and then it was like, you know, how to rob this dude, and then it was Ja Rule, and then it was Puff. It just seems like, you know, that's his entry level into a marketplace, is trolling. And obviously, he's trying to get into the fast channel space and have a network, and I'm the only one there. And I guess maybe that's the way he's trying to. But again, if the battle to me was, if you got all that money, or you got all that money behind you, pause, then just drop your network. Have the agility to drop a network, to drop a movie, something that you actually paid for. And instead of doing that, you're making jokes. You know, I just wanted to do the business. And I'm all right with the jokes, but, you know, he's not even that funny no more. Like, for me, with snapping, if you got to go and think about it and then be creative and all, like, to me, it's just a you know, it's a reflex. It's like ping pong. You know what I mean? It's not, it's just, that's too much on it for me. You know what I mean? And then it don't be so, it's not funny. Or at least not as funny. You know, like the shit with smacking the niggas' hips, pause, like that shit was funny. You know what I mean? He did it. You know, pat. It wasn't like I wrote it, I thought about it, I made a skit about none of that shit. It was just, I might make a commercial. You know what I'm saying? Because I got the pause buttons. But I'm sure Tony Ayo hollered at him, was like, yo, why you smack that man's hips? Like, I know they was laughing. It was funny. And if that shit bothered him, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like that shit is fucking with him. But I do believe that, you know, that must be it. Because then I was thinking, like, you know, everybody knows, because y'all keep talking about it, that I have a tax problem. So you think I'm going to get in front of a camera and start getting so mad that I'm going to be like, oh, I got this, I got that, and this, that, and the third, and all that. So I'm like, is he trying to bait me to get myself in some kind of trouble by lying and saying I got money while I got tax problem? Like my hands are tied. I can't say nothing to that. You know, but again, it's just, you know, it's just not the most masculine thing to me. To me, if anybody that's worried about pockets is gay. Period. That's just gay to me. I'm not calling him gay. I'm saying it's just not for real men. Period. Like, don't men talking about women's pockets. I don't want the world to think that's how it's just not cool. And I should be able to invest in my stuff and go re-up. Like, y'all know I'm hustling. Y'all know what I'm doing. Y'all know I'm working hard. So why do that? You know? But I would like to see him drop a network. But now that I have content, like Honor Up will be on BET, now it's more of a level playing field. You know? And again, the difference is, you know, this is my family's network. It's a complete independent. We don't get a salary. We got to make the money. You know what I'm saying? We invested our money in our future for our freedom so that we could put our content on a BET. And, you know, don't get scared. I mean, when I'm on, all I'm going to do is help everybody. I don't know why everybody's so scared. Y'all saw what I did. You know, when I was at a certain position of corporate power, I made sure everyone that wasn't corporate was treated fairly. And I think that's the reason why corporate never really fucked with me, because I didn't fuck with corporate at all. Because I've never been into, like, I'm all right with you robbing an artist. I've never been into like, I'm all right with a manager taking the artist publishing. I've never been all right with, somebody having to give up 360 of their brand, their show and their merch and royalties and not own their master. I've never been into any of those things. So y'all should know, like, when I get into a certain position of power as it relates to the media business, it's going to be in a way where an artist can be rich, or a filmmaker, like look what I did with, Kanye, Jay, Kevin Hart, Lee Daniels. I trained all of them. Not trained, I taught. I mentored. I gave them advice. I showed them how to do certain things. You know what I mean? How to do it like a boss. I led by example. I tried to make the word CEO common because no one knew what the word CEO meant. You know what I'm saying? And I've been a CEO, since I was like 19, 17, 18. Now I'm a chairman of the board, a spokesperson for my company, my family's company, which is, I think, the best way to approach it. So, again, if it's funny, funny is funny, but I'd like us to help each other culturally. It would be better if, everyone that's in media, instead of like dividing and getting at each other. Another thing I thought, because I seen him with Steve Stout when he had that tight ass suit on and he was smacking Cam on his hip, pause, and I was like, damn. It's crazy because I thought I saw a clip of Steve Stout smacking, 50 Cent smacking Steve Stout on his chest or some shit in a basketball game, like pressing him. And now they, friends. So I'm like, I'm sure Steve Stout was like, yo, get out of blah, 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 like one of those. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And then I was seeing like, there was a DiCaprio party and now he's at the party. And when he's up, and I noticed when he's around the white people, he don't have his hat on. 50 without the hat is a different 50, But I'm like, well, now he's in the same crowd as these two. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, so he just really wants to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to hang out really with those people, so you can have that. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if that's the case, But, other than that, again, I'm always open. I think more people would prefer to see us work together on some level or pass each other alley-oops, Like, I'm curious to know, I would love for Tyler Perry to, because people are like, you ever talk to Tyler Perry? I'd be like, I don't even know Tyler Perry. But he never called me. You know what I'm saying? I know he knows what I'm trying to do. I wish he would. I would definitely get some game from him. But I just think that everyone that's from our culture that's in the media business, we should all link up. You know what I'm saying? Like, enough of the playing and shit, I get it. And, the thing that bothers me also with him is he doesn't tag me. So I'll be like, damn, he's not even really trying. Is he trying to help or is he not? Like, what the fuck? I don't know if he's throwing me alley-oop or, but tag me. You going to snap? Tag. So I can get some followers and shit so I can sell my work. Say America knew. Because I said his network, 50 Cent action, but he never showed up. But he won't even say my network. He just wants to joke. He never ever on his any social media or any post said anything about the battle. He's never said anything about the battle. 50, talk about the battle. Petite drop, and all that's cool. But talk about the battle. That's all. And we could, again, like I said, let's get back focused. Presidency is over. The fucking Roc-A-Fella shit is done. Let's get to the new shit. Drop your network. Drop an album. Don't even drop a clothing line. Don't even do that. But drop a clothing line, Do all that a boss does. I'm not a rapper. I don't play. This is not boss talk. I only want to have a boss competition with you. But anything else now, I think I'm going to just, I want to only speak in boss. I only talk in boss. If we going to battle, let's battle in boss. If we going to snap, let's snap in boss. I don't want, the funny shit is cool, but it's just not even that funny. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to getting focused. Or are you focusing on jokes so you don't have to acknowledge the fact that you're supposed to have all that money and you never dropped your network? You never dropped it. You might be almost ready. You might be rushing them. or you might be mad, but you have not been able to have the agility to just drop when you want to drop. You know? And I wish I did have the ability to rap my records that I made 30 years ago and get paid a lot of money to do it, but I'm not a rapper. You're not playing on the same playing field. I don't get a salary. So for me, I think that battle should be with other people that play that game. Like, you know, it's like I'm playing an independent game, you playing with other people's money. How do you compare the two? How is that the same game? And who are you playing for? So you got Netflix as a partner, Stars, because Netflix owns Stars. I would just expect more Stars. You know, I should not be keeping up if you got all that bread to use that somebody else's, and I'm only using my own. And then y'all trying to make me feel bad for it and make everyone else look at me funny for it. That shit is, to me, that's and that's just how I look at things. I always said that. It ain't nothing new. I always said a man should never be worried about what another man got in his pocket. And I'm telling anyone that's listening to me and that believes in what I'm saying, don't ever be worried about what another man got in his pocket. That ain't for men. It's not now. It's like, yo, bugging. That's not even, and especially if you're gonna do that, be like, but you use other people's money. I don't. And if I do, it's a partnership. You know, it's an equity thing. It's never a salary thing for me. Don't ever disrespect me and try to give me a salary. I'm a boss. In this moment, you can say broke boss, but that shit, say it all you want. It's called independent boss. See, to a boss, broke means independent. To a soldier and a worker, broke means you don't make a big salary. Two different languages. We speak in two different languages. We play in two different games. You know? So that's how I feel about that.
So tonight's going to be a big night for sports. We got Jake Paul and Tyson fighting.
You know, for me, Mike Tyson is like a pause. You know, he's a real warrior. He's like one of the best, maybe him and Muhammad Ali. It's Tyson and Muhammad Ali. I'm more Muhammad Ali, but Tyson and him at 58 or 59, almost 60, like to me, there's no win for Jake Paul. There's no way he could win. Like, meaning if he knocks him down, he knocked down a 59-year-old Mike Tyson. I don't care what he said. But if Mike Tyson knocks his ass out, he has everything to lose. Because that's a 59-year-old man that knocked your ass out, or 58. Now, what I did see, and at first I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if it's fixed. But, you know, it looked like Jake Paul stepped on Mike's sneaker. And I know that in the fight, you know, you can't step. That's messing with a nigga's mobility and shit. So he might have took that as disrespect, and it looked like if the Brooklyn came out, all that Paul's Brownville, and he smacked the shit out of Jake Paul. He smacked the shit out of Jake Paul. So, you know, Jake Paul got to wear that for the rest of his life. And the fact is, when a man does smack another man, Paul, you know, I think the reaction is supposed to be swinging and shit. That nigga went to meditating. I was like, yo, he smacked the shit out of him, and he knew not to swing on Mike. I think he was like, ain't no gloves on and all that. The natural warrior did not kick in to me. You know, because when you get smacked, your instincts, he knew not to do nothing. He just took it and was like, smacked the shit. I'm like, that's not how men take a smack if they think they could win. And then he went and meditated. So I'm curious to see the fights tonight. And I'll probably have to do a quick tape to put it on because, you know, I'm taping this in the day. So I'm very curious to see how this fight rolls out. And I think I'm going to say something tonight when I'm watching it. And maybe, you know, so we'll see. But, yeah, I'm really, you know, I'm a boxing fan. You know, boxing is an art. And I don't want to see a 58 or 9-year-old. If he hurts Mike Tyson, I'm going to be mad at him. You know what I mean? Like how everybody was mad when Larry Holmes had that fight with Muhammad Ali. Like, I wouldn't, just out of respect. But if Mike is on one and look like he is, if he's anywhere near half the person that he was in that ring, and he could keep his stamina, you know, like I said, by now the fight's gonna be over, so it ain't gonna matter. But that smack was crazy. So, you know, I'll leave it at that. What I wanted to talk about was, what I was thinking about was, one of the issues that I be having sometimes is, you know, I'm very creative, and my method of working is different. And what I do is I just, you know, I just make everything that I see, I try to make it come true. There's no limitations. And a lot of things work. So when I hire people, you know, like I have like an editor or a shooter come, and they'll be like, you know, very creative, and they'll see me doing the rock shit and, you know, having a band and all that. And then they end up quitting what I need them to do, and then they chase their dreams. They become musicians, or they'll go get a rock band or a band. And, you know, when I meet people that I work with, I see how they change, how they live. Like if they had that office one way, then all of a sudden they have a different kind of office. And that's the purpose of me showcasing it. Like, yo, who wants an office? You want a creative place. You want a stage. You want a big screen. You want to be able to tape. You want to be able to make music. You want to be able to, you know, have meetings, have functions. You know, you have to do that. So what happens is the people around me, I only work with people that want to make their dreams come true. And when I show them how, they just stop all the things that I need for them to do. And, you know, it happens and all that. And what you have to try to figure out how to do is make sure when you're evolving someone, that when they do evolve, that they can evolve with you when y'all doing projects together. You know what I'm saying? And that's the purpose. So when people come around me, don't ever think that you're going to do it the way you did it before. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong. To me, if it's not different, it's wrong. Because it takes too long. It costs too much. The quality is not good. There's details that, you know, that I need. Subtle things to make it an art. So, you know, it's like a gift and a curse. So again, with everyone, and it's happened every single time. So to me, again, with Homeboy, he was supposed to be a rapper, and all of a sudden he wanted to be a CEO. All of a sudden he wanted to be me. You know, and that's, you can see it. You know what I mean? I can say what you want, but that's what happens. And it seems like, you know, with Steve Stout, you know, he's the one that was pushing the 360 and all that other shit. And now he's doing exactly what he was telling everyone I was crazy for saying own your masters and do it independently and all that. A whole business model. Because so all that time, he wanted to be me. You know? And now even 50, like, you know, he want to get at me because I'm doing what he wants to do or what he wants to do, but they're paying for it. And I'm doing it myself. You know? And he wants to be at the parties with all of the Caprios and all that shit because he did, without the hat. So I don't want to be there. You know what I mean? So I was there. I didn't like it. It's weird to me. I'm out, Mark. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just the way I feel about it. It's just, even this dude, a guy, this cat, Josh Weber, pretending and telling people that he directed a movie that I directed. He was my assistant director. I have him as a line producer. The whole time I was on the set, he wanted to be me. And, yo, yeah, it is good being me. But it can't be good pretending to be me. It must feel terrible. And it must be like explanations that in front of your girl, you got to make me look a certain way so you don't look crazy. Because when you saying my lines to pick up your girl, you know when I come sitting, oh, he made up that line. That was his insight. And that's been actually the problem. Even down, I had these lawyers, and I had the art gallery, and I'm showing them the game, and then they quit being my lawyers to go try to have art galleries or manager. I'm like, it happens every time. Every time, like even with, like Lemmy hit me the other day for some dentist shit for a show. Lemmy from what you call it, Baddies. What's the name of it? Zeus TV. He was producing the television show that I was on, Hip Hop Moguls. And at the time, I was putting together the first streaming service. And I'm giving them all the game, you know? And every time I have a meeting that they would take, like I have a meeting with Byron Allen, or I have a meeting with my tech team, he would get their numbers and he made his own. And I was telling them how to do it. 'Cause I'm like, yo, you're an editor and you shoot and do all that. You could do it yourself. You do all these pilots. So just make us, and he did. But again, you know, I ain't mad at him and shit, but I fuck with him. I'll be like, and he knows, you know what I mean? I taught him the game. And I would really dare him to say I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like he literally went behind my back and took the people that were doing my tech and did his own thing without telling. It just always happens. Everybody just always sees a new way of doing things, and then they say, I could do it. So fuck them. But pause. Understand, I'll work with you to get what you got to do. We could work together. You ain't got to go and pretend that, you know, the shit that you do, that I do, that you made it, all that. It's just been everybody always trying to take the credit for shit that I do. Everybody. It's like a human trait. I'm not even mad at it anymore. It just seems like that's just what people instinctually do. You know? The other day I was talking to Jocko. Jocko's a great principal in the OSG, and she gives us a lot of the information we need on how to really let the content for Applefish, the kids stuff, resonate in an educational way with the children. And she put her son on the phone, you know, and, you know, watching him grow up, and he plays soccer, he just made the big league, MLS or something. And, you know, I'm stunting on him, you know. I'm like, yo, let me just show you. You're going to get stunned on the damn dance, because he's like 11. And I'm like, you know, you ever had your own dance? And he's like, no. I said, you know, I got my own dance. He said, yeah, all right, Google it. You know, I discovered Kevin Hart? Google it. You know, I discovered Kanye West and Jay, and he, no, I said Jay, and he Googled it, and he's like, and Kanye. So I kept throwing things at him to Google. You know, I said, I'm Googleable, pause. And there was just so many different things over the years that I know that I was responsible for that you can Google, that validated. It's all there. And the fact that you can Google it and it's still telling the truth I was like, wow, it really actually is still being told truthfully. But that's one of the reasons why I'm capturing everything. So the narrative can't be changed. I have it. I got the pictures. I got the movies to tell the real stories. That's what America New is. So everyone that's trying to copy me and take credit for my ideas is like, yo, I give you the idea so I can have competition. But I don't expect y'all to cheat. You know what I'm saying? So even down to the fact that you could, you know, buy things while you're watching it, press a button and buy all this without disengaging. I was doing that 10 years ago, but nobody got it. This is why I got to smoke weed all day, because my ideas are futuristic. You know? And the last thing I'm going to say is this. You know, last week I was talking a little political, but I really wasn't. It wasn't because I don't do politics. Or something. You don't know nothing about politics. You are right. I don't know anything about politics. I don't do politics. I just want to know how to pass laws. I think everyone should work together, you know? But I did see something where they were saying that Trump is making something for reparations for white people. I just wonder how black people feel about that are down with him when he does that. If that's true. Like, I could be wrong. But like reparations for like white people in schools or some shit, I'm like, that's the part. That's the only thing I didn't like about him, is that it just seems like he's leaning more toward that side, or just to make that side happy, where someone that doesn't love black people could celebrate. I don't like that part. But, you know, whatever else, it's like, let's see what else happens. I mean, there's a lot of other shit I don't like, but that shit right there, I'm just curious, like, if you're black with that and you're like supporting someone, like, does that hurt a little bit? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, if you're in the room with him, I mean, like, white reparations, like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Is there a real conversation you could have there? You know? But it does seem like a little trolling to me. That's just me. I ain't against nobody, but that right there was something that bothers a black man, for sure. At least me. You know, other stuff. We'll see. Not political, just my opinion on things that I hear. I definitely wanted to take a moment. Like, it just seems like this year, we lost Clark. We lost Fat Man Scoop. who I knew when I was younger, and he lived in Schaumburg. I was 1199. I see him at the parties and stuff. It was Quincy Jones. He was the OG, and now like this week we lost Chubby Baby from Atlanta, and I remember he was on my street team, and then he like went on to like I think get a Future signed and become this really big, really powerful executive and made a difference. And what I'm noticing is a lot of these people, I don't know what happened, but I didn't know he was sick. Same thing with Clark. Like I knew he was sick, but I thought he was beating it because he was outside. And I guess my point is, these people are cut from a certain kind of cloth where they're going to keep moving until the day they go. They're not going to say nothing. With Chubby, we still stayed connected here and there because he had dogs that he was training. He said they were like shepherds. I don't know, like special shepherds. And I love dogs. I got 4. So he was like showing me that. Like, there's always like something other than the music business or the industry where people can connect because they have passion for something and that keeps them, talking to each other for years. But he was another one of those dudes that just never changed, at least not in front of me, never chose a side. And, just have to appreciate life and understand that health is wealth and be cognizant of your future. Just because you don't feel things fucking you up in the moment, pause, you kind of have to think about what you want your life to look like at a certain age. Because this shit happens and start investing in that. That's why I try to like eat the best, and I'm diabetic and, I'm 53 and I'm still having fun like I'm young and I got so much to do and I got children to raise and I'm looking forward to grandkids and I want to be healthy. So just everybody that's watching this, man, just be cognizant of what you're eating and just put investment into your future self. Fuck the money, because money's not going to matter if you can't enjoy it and if you have to spend it on hospital bills, So I think we're going to do the questions of the day.
Question of the day and also lesson of the day. I think from C Tillman C. Your number one business jewel to live by.
Don't do anything for money that you wouldn't do for free. That's what that's how I construct and architect the businesses that I do. Like I would make movies. I make movies for free right now. I pay to make movies. Everything that I actually do right now, I pay to do. So if I want to make a record, I got to pay to make the record. If I want to make a movie, I got to pay to make the movie. If I want to make clothing, I have to pay to make the clothing. So if you're going to pay to do something that can eventually make you some money, make sure that whether or not it makes you some money, the time you spend on it, you love. And then it's never a loss, Because life, Rocky was talking about this on Dusko's birthday because, his grandparents came in and Tia's here and I'm here and, I wish his brothers and sisters could be here, but they're in school and, other circumstances. But it was the time. It didn't matter what he got. He got cool stuff. But he just was really, the things that are going to be core memories is the time that he's going to spend with us. That's what he's going to remember before the presence. The presence is the presence. You know what I'm saying? And, again, I'm doing the checklist of Rocky as a mom. I'm like, damn, Rocky, you were able to turn your child, the thing you love the most, into your job. Meaning your books, your clothes, your curriculums, your content, your movie, your album. This is all inspired by your child. And everything you do is about your child. Every time you pitch anything, you're saying Dusko's name. And that's all he knows. So I'm looking like, damn, you killed that shit. And everything consists of them doing it and us doing everything together. And that's what she's teaching, how you to spend time constructively, where it benefits the trajectory and the education of your child, and it also helps you. Because everything that I do with my son, for him, like, he likes video games, so now I'm playing video games again. If he likes it, I'm doing it. He loves golf, so we gotta learn golf. It's his lifestyle is our lifestyle. I don't plan on this one, raising this one, where they have a passion and I don't share it with them, you know, or have the ability to. But everything he loves are things that I almost have to start from scratch, like golf. Like, what is a 3-year-old doing loving golf? Like, really having a passion for anything. Oh, now he's 4 years old, but he started playing golf when he was 3. Thank you. So he's 4 now, but he was started when he was 3. The love happened at 3. I'll be saying he'd been playing golf since he was 3. What he wanted for his birthday, he didn't want toys. He wanted equipment for his art. He wanted golf clubs. He wanted a glove. He wanted things that would make it easier for him to do what he loves. The toys and Legos. He loves to build. You know, and he loves to build with the person that got him the Legos. So Tia got him some Legos. They built all night, hours. Went to bed at 12. You know, and the same thing happened in Wyoming when we had a Lego set. He stood up all night. Now, this is the politics in my house. You know, what's wrong with the dogs, whatever Dusko wants to do, and just enjoying and marinating the moments, the time. You know, I've done life one way, and I was like, I want to try it this way. And it's working. I'm loving it. It's the best way, is when you surround yourself with family, and you make your family the best they can be, and then they grow up, and then you hang out with them. They're your friends because you like them and you love them. And there's a trust that you could have. And if you're going to be arguing, it's based on somebody you love that you know loves you just as much. Spend some time on your world, on your politics, where you can make the rules. And the rules should be nothing but love. You know? I don't know how that question turned into all that, but go ahead.
All right, I thought that was great. This question is from With Young Polo. With multiple creative business verticals, how do you focus on which one will profit most?
You know, to be honest, what bothers Rocky a lot is that I tend to go with is making me feel good. Pause. So I love making music, but it might not make me no bread. But I literally got stuck making music. You know, it was supposed to be one project, and then it turned into a whole year of me just making albums and not making a fucking dollar. I have to stop that shit. But what happens is I do so many things that at one point or another, it just starts to crack. You never know when it's going to happen, but when it does happen, like, for example, so right now, our priority, and I guess I could say this is the lesson of the day, the priority, like, if you have a lot of things happening at one time, but then all of a sudden something that you did a while ago is going to make you the most money or set a precedence, then you have to focus on that. Focus on that. Sometimes you have to turn your back on things that need help just so you could get certain things done that are going to help everything else. So right now, my focus is making sure Honor Up gets handed in properly to BET, that we market it properly, and that we're prepared to do what we have to do as soon as it shows. You know? And then I have to get back to filming. Because now that we have the network set up and, you know, we have the opportunity to put our content on BET, I have to have the content. The content has to be perfect. And I have to focus only on making content. Because now this shit is real. You know, I'm not making it for my network. I'm making it for the whole world to see. Not just people that like me, but for everyone to judge. And I've been popping it. And I've been putting all my family's money into this. So I can't be fucking around. This shit is real. So there's a lot of things we're developing. Like, you know, Rocky has her books. She's always, like, she did a third book. There's so many different things going on at one time. I was just talking to Josh about it. He was like, but what's the priority? Because I got a Freeway album that has to come out in January. So there's things, assets I need to edit for that. And then we shot this movie for Rocky's book, Dusko Goes to Space. And also the soundtrack. So we got to edit all the videos, but we also have to edit the movie. And then that year I spent in Florida, you know, Blue Rock, I made 10 albums and I made a movie with it and I have to edit that, you know? Now that's just the stuff that's not gonna make me any money yet. These are things I'm developing that need to be done. But I also have to put out the Prince of Detroit, the television series, and we have to shoot the rest of that shit. You know, we have to get that up to speed. And then there's other things, the future stuff. We're reaching 100,000, so I got to shoot the Paid in Full. So I'm trying to prep that. You know, and then we got the clothes. So we got to, there's so many clothes that I have to put out. And again, if y'all like this, you could order it. Thank you. And there's so many clothes, sneakers, the glasses, the buttons, the books, the tours, the movies, the TV shows. The bills, no matter what, the bills. And this business model, yeah, man, bills be a problem. You got to pay them. And you don't have that consistent check every month. You know, you got to eat the food you kill. That's independence. That's that wild animal shit that I love. And yeah, it gets rough sometimes, but you know, it's always the darkest before the dawn. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, I was watching The Penguin, right? I love that fucking TV show. I'm not gonna hold you. But, you know, I'm spoiler if you haven't seen it. But the way he successfully took over all the other crime families, he got with their number twos. All their number twos resented their number ones. They resented the person that made them number two. You know? And I'm like, damn, that's exactly what happens every time. You know, the person you put on, I guess a man put another man on, that man wants to, number two always wants to be number one. That's what men, you know, but I just want to be number one fair. I don't want to cheat to be number one. I want to do it the fair number one. And that's real number one. To me, cheating doesn't matter, but yeah, it's just a common algorithm that every man that I've tried to put on has always tried to be me. And that Penguin validated that shit for me. That's when you know a television show is good, when they take real life lessons and implement them like that. Shit was symbolic. It was like, yeah, man, the evil motherfuckers, they always hate the motherfucker that put them on. See, for me, I love my connect. Anybody that helps me, I appreciate, because I know how many people don't. I don't understand this presenting the person that put you on thing. I mean, it's happened to me so many times. It's like, and the funny shit is my girl sees it. My girl sees it. You know what I mean? I don't get it. The last thing I wanted to say is, with the puff shit, I don't think that, at this point, I'm like, it can't be no tapes. This shit might all be bullshit. If they are, where the fuck are they? How did this selective people see him and they haven't come out? You know? And it's just such a gray area there for me still. You know what I mean? But at some point, it's like I'm looking at all the lawsuits and I'm like, I think they're just trying to drain his pockets, maybe. Because I know each one of them lawsuits is going to cost at least $1 million. Trust me, I know. With depositions, the trial, you know, trying to get things kicked out, discovery. Like lawsuits, like if you have a good lawyer, like $1,000 an hour. So if you have 100 lawsuits and they're $1 million a pop, just in legal fees, that's $100 million. I'm just thinking because I know I have lawsuits. So it could be a strategy to just be like, just trying to drain the man's pockets, pause. It doesn't make anything that he's already admitted to doing right. But you know, I don't know, just from the shakiness of the other trials I'm seeing, you know, the thing about going to trial and winning, going to trial is still fucks your life up. You know, it still drains your pockets. And if you have to sit in jail for something you didn't do, that's terrible. You know, just going through the process is a 2 or 3 year process. That 3 year process is a punishment within itself. That's the bit. Like, you'd be happy to get out, but it's still 3 years of, like, as if someone said, Joe, you got to do 3 years. You go to court not to have to do that 3 years. 3 years is a bit. A year is a bit. 3 months is a bit. A week is a bit. Any time behind bars is a bit. They're skid bids, but they're bits. Nobody wants that shit. So because of the way they drag and everything, you know, definitely puts question on what they really got. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the rumors are getting tiring. Pause. You know, you hear shit, but you don't see shit. You know, unless people are doing a great job of covering everything up. And I don't see how they could do that great a job. I just don't see it. Where I haven't seen it yet, but we'll see. I don't know. I guess I'm a superseding indictment or whatever. But I'm starting to think they just use it as a tool to try to fuck up hip hop and kill the celebrity. You know, until further notice now. It's just every week. So that's what I say about that. You know, I know they can come up for a bail hearing. Maybe he'll get it. I don't know. I am curious to see how long Elon Musk and Trump are going to get along. And the people that he's picking to do certain jobs, it's just like he's trolling. But again, I don't know enough about politics to get into it like that, but it's just what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Another question?
Yes. Leading into what you had said before, a great question. How did you cope with losing business partners and starting again solo?
The problem in the beginning was that my business partners I had looked at as my brothers. And I trusted them. I thought I just could never see them betraying me. So that one took a lot of adjusting of the way I looked at people, you know, and how I moved forward. And I think the PTSD from that that's why I started to more or less try to more invest in my family. And, you know, even in investing in your wife at the time when she becomes your ex-wife, that goes terrible. And I've had to start over each and every time. Each and every time. Every time I get a block clicking, the person I got the block clicking with always wants to take the credit for it. They always want it for themselves. They always resent the fact that I'm the business and they're the spokesperson. And they just get somebody else to do the business. That's all they do. So personally, it sucks. You know, I'm not going to say each time I don't feel betrayed. And I hate it. It's made me not like people too much or trust anybody. But because it's like I always look at the bright side of it, like now I don't have to deal with this person no more. And that I just have to do it on my own. I just feel like that's the way God wants it. You know, I think the test is to stay around people that you don't like just for money. Or to do things that are immoral just because somebody told you to do it for money. And I just feel like I passed that test every time. And I'm happy. There's never been one time that I'm like, yo, I should have stuck around, done the immoral shit, or just tolerated the immoral shit, and then I would have, you know, had this much quicker. I've never looked at it like that. It's always been like, phew. So like when Weinstein got jammed up, I was like, I'm so glad that I always was like, I'm not fucking with him. And almost everyone else that's got jammed up, early on, I was not fucking with them. And more than likely in that moment, had I probably would have been better off in that business or industry until they got busted doing the dumb shit they were doing. So that test comes up a lot. And I tell people I care about at all times, when things are about to happen good that you fought for, God presents a test to see if you're ready to evolve or do you need to get in the back of the line. There's always a test because, people always act straight when they know if you act straight, certain things will happen. Like I'll give you $100 or 100,000 if you do certain things and you know what you got to do. But God, you don't know what the gift is. It could be billions. It could be limitless happiness and love. But God, I think, got to know that once you get there, you're going to do exactly what's going on. You're going to be on that type of time, limitless love, limitless happiness. But if you get there and you're going to fuck it up and make everyone that fought to get there unhappy, you don't deserve to be there. So there will be a test. Look for the test. And I'm watching this happen with my friends. Like right before shit's about to get good, it looks fucked up, but there's always some good shit happening. And then you get that test. If you fail that test, you do not get to benefit from that good. You go right back. So pass the test. Because people are with you that love you. And when you don't pass the test because they believed in you, they get the buckshot of that karma as well. So here, if you care about, you can't do it for yourself. Do it for all the people that are invested in. Pass the test. Don't choose immoral for money. Don't choose corny for money. Don't just fight. That's what God wants you. Because no matter what, you're going to have problems. Name a time in your life, anyone, that you had no problems. When you had all the money you wanted and everything was dope, you're still going to have problems. So God's going to always give you challenges by the day. But if you don't choose the challenges, God will choose them for you. So I'm going to make my own problems so I ain't got to worry about God making some for me. You have to keep challenging yourself in this existence. That's the purpose of living in this existence, is to be tested every day. Either to wait to be tested or go look for the test and make the test yourself. I test myself every single day because I got to do this shit on my own. It's the only way. If I didn't direct the movie and pay for the movie, no one was hiring me to direct a movie. No one was going to hire. If I didn't start a record company, no one was going to hire me to be the CEO of a record company. No one was going to hire me to be the CEO of a clothing company. I had to create the companies to be the CEOs. So if you have a dream title, you have to create the company so you can give yourself any title you want. Or you have to wait till someone likes you enough for years and get paid a certain amount to get to that point. And that's if they want you to, and you can get fired at any time, or that business can go out of business and you can get laid the fuck off. It's not even your fault. It's just a different look. It's just, again, I can only think in boss. And people that don't think in boss, sometimes, they just don't get it. And they say things that just don't make sense to me. They support things that don't make sense. Soldiers support other soldiers if they get paid a lot of bread. A general is going to support another general no matter what, because you know what it is to be a general and how hard it is to fight a war for real. So I don't know how many episodes of Bosses Take Losses we've done. I think it's been about 6 to 8. So I'm going to consider this a season of Bosses Take Losses. And, I'm definitely, if somebody says something where I got to deal with some shit in the narrative, I'll pop back out. But I don't know. It just depends on what I'm doing. But I got to get to work. I got a lot of work to do, and I got to focus. So this is the first season of Bosses Take Losses. I know I was mad when the Penguin said I'm going to take a break and the season was over. It's maybe, the good part about it is it's reactive, but right now, this is the end of the season. The auction is done, and I can relax. I can get to work. Not relax, just leave this shit behind me, pause, and get to work. Like I said, right now, I feel like if you press a button, you could buy any one of the things you see. And if you don't want me to be broke, let's support so I can keep breaking that work.